every time when there is change involved, the truth is nobody wants change. Okay, think about that. Nobody wants change. Everybody wants to be comfortable.
Something with the customer support, production, reporting, which needed to be done, and in all this, the biggest challenge for me, I have like 3 systems now, 2 of them implemented in the last 3 months, and I see people who are not willing to actually go and put the data. They say, okay, you prefer me send the email, do the actual order in the system, or report it in your sheet where you want. I really need the sheet because I think the checklist is brilliant, so it helps you for clarity, but how do you develop or what would be your insight as a leader to inspire 70 people to work in a system which they don't want to work in?
When there's 70 people involved, initially guys, when I implemented the Trello, we had about, at the peak around, at that time, we had about 30 plus people, right? But at that time, same thing, for like Trello is like, what would be their reaction if we were to implement this, okay? Now the way to do that, it is to make it about them and why we are implementing this in order for the good of the entire company, okay? And sometimes, depending on how drastic this change is, sometimes it could start from the leader making an apology. Now what does that mean? It means that I want you to ask yourself, if sometimes a drastic change is necessary, we gotta take ownership by first owning it. And to own it, as the leader, we need to make an apology to everybody. Now why an apology? Here's why. What you are ultimately responsible for is the team. And I want you to ask the question, where have I allowed mediocrity to slip through until it became a norm, until it became part of a culture, that normal and average and being mediocre what became an acceptable standard. Now depending on how drastic it is, if this has been going for a while where people don't want to change and they just want to stay the same being mediocre, then it starts from you, from the top down. And if that is me, and I would need to make a change in a company that's 70 people, and I know that they'll be very resistant to it, that's what I'll do. I'll start off with an apology. And the apology is this. In my last 7 years of running this business, I've always been torn between 2 things. Between being a great leader and at the same time making sure that people are happy in this company. And I know that there were many times I did not bring up the tough conversations and to do what was difficult and what needed to be done so that I would keep everyone happy. But also, as a direct result of that, I have allowed the practice of mediocrity, the practice of being average, to slip through until it became a norm that change was difficult. And for that, I take full responsibility. Moving forward, in order for us to progress, I realize that being a leader, I have to do what is difficult. And what is difficult is change. But I believe and I know that this change is critical for us to move forward. Now what this change is about having us as a transparent system so that we know and we have accountability within our tasks, which I believe will be painful at first, as with any change, but it will be the best for us all. And what I'm asking of you, and what I would like to know is if you are on board with me for this change. The good people will be on board, and the ones that aren't willing to change, they don't deserve to be in your team. That's what I would do if I was in your position. Okay, does that answer your question?
Thank you.